Good morning, students. I'm recording this at 5 p.m. on Sunday. I'm in Northern California right now. You probably hear quite a bit of background noise. That's because I'm at a Starbucks. Um, I'm going to go ahead and record this, and I'm hoping that the background noise is not too much of a distraction. And if it is, then I'm just going to re-record this later on somewhere else. But anyways, what we're going to learn today, and what I want you to read to yourself is the following. After watching this video and doing some practice problems, you will become a Jedi master at graphing lines by finding the X and Y intercepts. So there's lots of different ways to graph lines, but the way that we're going to graph lines today is by finding the X and Y intercepts. We're going to graph lines by finding the X and Y intercepts. And so here we go. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a number of points that are on the x-axis. Here's the x-axis right here. It goes side to side. We know that. So I'm going to put a point over here. And then I'm going to put a point here. And I'll do one more. Let's put it here. And let's go ahead and let's label each of those. Okay? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 in the negative direction. And it did not go up and it did not go down, so it's 0. Let's label this one 1, 2. That's 2 in the positive direction, and it did not go up, it did not go down, it's 0. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 8 in the positive direction, did not go up, did not go down, 0. And so now I ask you this. I ask you, what do they all have in common? I repeat, what do they all have in common? Yeah, you're right. They all have a 0. Nice job. They all have a 0. And where is the 0? Where is the 0? Is it in the X place or the Y place? And let me remind you, it goes like this. Is the 0 in the X place or the excellent? It's in the Y place. We can clearly see that the 0 is in the Y place. Right there, right there, right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this. All points on the X-axis have a Y value of 0. Sorry, that's kind of funny. All points on the x-axis have a y value of 0. Simple enough. Now, let's just say I put a point here. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So, it's not on the x-axis. Clearly, if it were on the x-axis, it would be down here. It's not on the x-axis, and so this is not 0. So let's look at the y-axis, okay? We're going to look at the y-axis, which of course we know goes up and down, and let's put a few points on it. How about that one? And one right next to it. We're going to do 4 points on this one because I want to do that one, that very special point, and then way down here. See what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 0, 4. Now, why does the 0 start off? Because we did not go left and we did not go right. We went 0, and then we went up 4, positive direction. 1, 2, 3. 0, 3. Did not go left, did not go right. Just went up 3. Now, what about this one? Did not go left, did not go right, 0. Did not go up, did not go down, 0. That point is called the origin. It's a special point because it's 0, 0. Now we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the negative direction. 0, negative 9. Did not go left, did not go right. That's why we have a 0. So now we ask again, of course, what do they all have in common? Remembering that it's x, y. And you say, well, obviously, Mr. Eckert, they all have a 0. This one has 2 zeros right here. This one has 2 zeros, but each of them have a 0. And where is that 0, I ask you? And you say, Mr. Eckert, that 0 is in the place of the x. And so we can say all points. Let's look at what we said before. All points on the x-axis have a y value of 0. Let's see if we can predict what we're going to say here. All points on the x-axis have a y value of 0. Can we predict what we're going to say here? Good job. Have an x value of 0. Very good. That's always going to be true. Remember, because if I put this point over here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, negative 3. That point is not on the x-axis and not on the y-axis, so neither of them are 0. Who can say why this point has 2 zeros? I know it's because it's at the origin, but based on what we said here, and based on what we said here, who can tell me why that point is 0, 0? Ah, great job, I heard somebody say it. Because it's on both the x-axis and the y-axis. That's a great job. That's a great job. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a line that we have already graphed. We've already graphed this line, as you'll see in just a moment. We've already graphed this line, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put 0 in for x. Now, why am I going to do that? Why am I going to put 0 in for x? Because if I put a 0 in for x, 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 if I put a 0 in for x, it's going to guarantee me that it's on the y-axis. It has to be on the y-axis if I put a 0 in for x. There's nowhere else it could possibly be. It has to be on the y-axis. So what do? I put a 0. And 0 plus y is just y, because when you add 0 to anything, you just keep what you had. And so what do I have? I have y equals 7. So I know that the point 0, 7 is on this line. I'm going to go 0 left, I'm going to go 0 right, and I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Now I'm going to put 0 in for y. How come I'm going to put 0 in for y? Because I know that every point on the x-axis has a y value of 0. So if I put in 0 for y, I know for certain, I am absolutely sure that the point's going to be on the x-axis. I know that for certain. So I'm going to put a 0 in for y. Here we go. And what do we know? We know x plus 0 is just x, because I haven't added anything to it. X equals 7. So I have the point 7, 0. 7, 0. So I'm going to go over 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do I go up or down? Not at all, because it's 0. So I'm going to put a point there. And I'm going to find a line. Looks like my line will be blue. And I connect those 2 points. And there's the line. That right here. This, ladies and gentlemen, this right here, this line is the graph of this equation. This line is the graph of this equation. And if you can remember, because I made you say this out loud the other day, all equations have a graph. All equations have a graph. And when I said to you that we had already graphed this, I wasn't lying to you. Take a look. That's the exact page that we did last week. I just copied it. It's the exact page. And hey, what do you know? Look at this. 0, 7. We know that's on the line because it's one of the points. And 7, 0. There we go. Easy stuff. Easy stuff. Let's try it with another equation. We have this equation right here, which of course is an equation we've already graphed. So I'm going to put 0 in for x. So 2 times 0 minus y equals 5. 2 times 0 is 0. If I have 0 and I have negative y, the 0 is just nothing. I don't even need it. Now, this might be a little bit tricky, and you've got Ms. Clark there to help you out. This might be a little bit tricky, a little bit difficult for you to understand, but you'll be okay. Negative y is the same as saying negative 1 times positive y. Okay, it's the same as saying negative 1 times positive y. We need to get rid of that negative. We don't want a negative in front of the y. So if this is being multiplied, the opposite of multiplication is division. I do the opposite, but whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we know that these cancel out. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is gone. It cancels out. And what do I get? I get y equals 5 divided by negative 1. 5 divided by negative 1 is negative 5. So the point that I ended up with is 0, negative 5. When I put 0 in for x, I ended up with 0, negative 5. So I start here, I go 0 to the left, I go 0 to the right, and I go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who can tell me why did I go down instead of up? Perfect, because it's a negative. That's right, because it's a negative. All right, we're going to take all this work and we're going to put it over here on the other side. Because that way, now I'm going to put in 0 for y. Now I'm going to put 0 in for y, for the other one. What do I got? I got 2x minus 0 equals 5. So that's 2x minus 0 equals 5. And well, 2x minus 0 is just 2x. I didn't take anything away from 2x. So again, these are being multiplied. These are being multiplied. It's just like what I had before with the negative 1. So the opposite of multiplication, division. Divide that, x equals 5 halves. Well, 5 halves is kind of tricky, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining how 5 halves becomes this other number. I'm just going to say it. 5 halves is really 2 and 1 half. And if you guys want to have a discussion when this video is over about how that happens, you can do that. Okay? So if I put 0 in for y, I end up with 2.5, comma, 0. I put the 0 in for the y. 0. 2.5, comma, 0. So I'm here. I go over 1. I go over 2.5. Okay? I go over 1. I go over 2.5. Now I don't go up any, and I don't go down any because it's 0. I connect those, and I've got my line. Nice job, Mr. Eckert. Now that I have that line, I said to you guys, I said, we've already done this. We've already done this graph. Let's see who remembers it. There it is. Let's see if I graphed in the right spot. I'd say that's about 2.5. It's pretty good. Let's check this. Yeah, negative 5. I got my intercepts correct. So you can see that I graphed the line correctly because when we did it last time, when we did all the points last time and you guys did this on your papers, same exact thing if you do it this time. So it's very easy. It's incredibly easy. If we want to find the intercepts, we just do these two things. We put 0 in for x, and we get a value. And then we put 0 in for y, and we get a value. Simple enough. We put one of the values on the graph, we put the other value on the graph, and then we connect it. Ms. Clark is there to help you out. Please ask her any questions that you have. She's a wonderful lady, and she's very good at math. She's incredibly bright. So go ahead, ask any questions. You're going to get several practice problems. And like I said, I don't want you to just be decent at this. I don't want you to be good at it. I don't want you to be great at it. I want you to be a Jedi Master. A Jedi Master at graphing lines by finding the X and Y intercepts. Go for it, and good luck.